I'm pretty frustrated right now with how we got here, my decision making relative to the things that go on. You know, the way we dial it up here, and there's no dodging looking in the mirror. I don't have time personally to have a bad time. It's not on my schedule. I have a natural urgency because of my age. And so my tomorrows, the immediate tomorrows, are a big thing to me. The immediacy, the rest of this season is more acute to me than at any time in my life. I'm satisfied that I can make good decisions. I've made some bad decisions, obviously being tried. I am supremely responsible for where we are right now. There's no question about that. I accept that. That doesn't deter me from wanting to get it done and get it done now, this year.
Okay, and after all that transpired, ESPN Analytics putting the Cowboys' chance to make the playoffs at 7%. 7. Graz and Mike T are back, and our former Cowboy Marcus Spears joining us now. So, Marcus, I'm going to start with you, bro. Jerry Jones saying he wants to win now, but you saw those odds. What do you think Jerry should be doing between now and 4 p.m. Eastern?
A lot to improve this defensive unit. Offensively is what's been very disappointing. Obviously, we thought this team would have a shot in games, especially against the Arizona Cardinals, and give the Cardinals a lot of credit for the way that they play defense. But the offensive output for the last 2 weeks have not been what we've thought that they would be week in and week out after the hot, fast start. But these moves, and look, the accountability that I just heard from Jerry, I haven't heard ever, I don't think, when it comes to since I've been in television. So the now and the immediacy, we'll see what happens. But obviously he understands, and everybody in that building knows, that he needs to try to acquire guys to get better right now, if that's what he's alluding to. So I'll be interested to see what they do trade-wise defensively. But offensively was my issue last night. They weren't able to protect that. The run had at times where it looked good. The wide receivers looked good at times. But more importantly, like, this team is far away from a championship football team, and it's going to take players in order to move yourself towards that right now.
Okay, Marcus, we're going to Dan Graziano right now. Dan, I'm understanding we have some more movement. What can you tell us? Another trade?
Marcus is going to like this one, Jay. The Jets trading defensive tackle Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys. This just came across. Adam Schefter reporting it for us. A first-round pick. It sounds like, from what I'm being told, first-round pick headed to the Jets in exchange for Quinnen Williams. So, Cowboys beefing up that defensive line in addition to the trade they made earlier today for Logan Wilson.
Marcus, you want to voice that facial expression that you have? What's your reaction to this?
He said something and he did it, y'all. He said it and he did it. Listen, I think this is huge for the Dallas Cowboys. Mike T has been on shows with me when I've talked about how important interior pressure is in the NFL now. They help bolster their pass rush, but they also get a guy that plays the run very well. And people probably scratching their head, well, they got Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark was more to solidify the run game. Quinnen is going to be both, and we've seen him play at the highest level as one of the defensive tackles in this league. The Jets are obviously wholesaling, and they're trying to break this thing down to the foundation and rebuild. So why not the Dallas Cowboys benefit from that? I think this is a hell of a deal for the Dallas Cowboys to get an impact player right now. And what I was just saying about 20 seconds ago, this is absolutely a step in the right direction. So kudos to Jerry. Like, I'm hard as hell on Jerry. Actually, last night, he probably ain't even want to talk to me because I've been very hard on him about not making moves like this. This is what I've been talking about for a long time. I'm extremely happy that Quinnen Williams will be a Dallas Cowboy, and I'm extremely confident that he will help this team in the immediacy in which Jerry alluded to when he was talking just now.
Mm-hmm.
Mike
I haven't
T?
seen anybody do this in a long
No,
time.
I know. That was pretty good. Oh, they hit the full thing.
Yeah, I was happy. That's my happiness dance.
Look, this is fascinating on really both sides. First of all, on the Dallas side, I totally agree with Swagoo. This was a have-to-have after what happened losing to Jacoby Brissett. And how do you let Jalen Phillips go in your division to, the Philadelphia Eagles when you need a pass rush? I thought maybe it would have been Bradley Chubb. Quinnen Williams is an outstanding player. Now you pair him, as Swagoo mentioned, with Kenny Clark, you're much better up front. That's a good foundation for your defense. And I think what's really obvious now with the Jets guys is it's one thing to have a bad season. It's another thing not to have the ability to get a quarterback. And if they wind up, there's all these other teams, be it the Saints, the Titans, the Raiders. Let's say they had a bad season and had the 4th pick in the draft or the 5th, and the Titans are sitting there with the 1st pick, and they, of course, have Cam Ward. Now with 5 first-round picks over 2 years, it is absolutely within, their realm of like what they're trying to get done. Yeah. Hey, we're going to get a quarterback in this year's draft because we have enough ammunition now to trade up if we don't wind up with the 1st pick themselves.
Mr. Spears, last word goes to you.
Yeah. Mike T, you've been in that organization, and I think it's phenomenal what the Jets are doing, because the Jets, to me, were in the worst place a football team could be. They were in the gray area. They weren't one player away. They weren't one guy away from changing the trajectory of their program. I like breaking it down to the foundation. Now, the fans don't like it, and they're not going to be happy about it, but this is a step in the right direction, I believe, for the New York Jets. Now it's about getting these next things right, but ultimately, you've comprised yourself with a lot of draft capital and a lot of flexibility and movement, and that's the only way to get better in this league now if you are this bad of a football team.
All right, appreciate you for now. Looking forward to seeing you all for the days. Alongside Christine Williamson, I'm Jay Harris, and we are officially just under 2 hours from the NFL trade deadline. As you can see over our shoulders, the countdown clock going and going and going. We got all the latest information and reaction for the next hour.
That is right. Adam Schefter has been active. Breaking news left and right. We've had some major trades within the last hour, Jay.
Yeah, breaking news to start the show from Adam Schefter. The Seahawks beefing up their passing attack, landing wide receiver Rashid Shaheed in a trade with the Saints. An unrestricted free agent this offseason, Shaheed joins the league's top receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba, in Seattle's top 5 offense.
Meanwhile, the Jets are sending cornerback Sauce Gardner to the Colts. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Gardner signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with the Jets this offseason, but the team is struggling to a 1-7 start. Gardner is now on the move to the AFC South leading Colts. We have a great trio ready to react. Jeff Saturday, Dan Graziano, and Mike Tannenbaum. But Jeff, I want to start with you and your former team. What immediately came to mind when you saw Sauce Gardner to the Colts?
Yeah, they're all in, right? They're looking at this as their offense has played extremely well this season, kind of record-setting numbers in all honesty, and they need defensive flexibility in the background for Lou Armaruna. You got to figure out how can we do it, and they think that Sauce Gardner is going to be there. You pair him back there with Cam Bynum, Kenny Moore, Travarius Ward when he gets back. You're talking about a very strong defensive backfield, maybe opportunities to play some man instead of just zone. We're seeing some of the best defenses when you have to do it to bring pressure. So maybe they're just thinking, hey, look, we got a shot at this thing. We're looking at the AFC and the entirety of the NFL going, hey, we're one of these top ones. Let's go all in and try to win this thing this year.
Yeah, let's turn to our NFL insider, Dan Graziano. Dan, what more can you share about Indy pulling the trigger on this move?
Well, obviously a very aggressive move by the Colts to acquire a player that, quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people around the league thought was available. The Jets have been taking and frankly making calls about several players on their roster ahead of the trade deadline, and this might not be their last move, but the Colts obviously offering a very strong package, 2 first-round picks and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell in exchange for Sauce Gardner. Now, the Jets signed Sauce Gardner to a long-term contract in the offseason. However, the way they structured that contract kind of made it a little bit easier to trade. The signing bonus was relatively low, $13.75 million. So the Jets will carry $11 million in dead money on their salary cap next year. But in return, they get 2 first-round picks and a talented young wide receiver. So the Colts all in, as Jeff Saturday pointed out, and the Jets, looking to kind of get a rebuild going, trade one of their best players, yes, but for significant draft capital that should help accelerate that rebuild.
Yeah, it seems they really need to do that. Mike T, what do you make of this move?
Christine, similar to what Jeff Saturday just talked about, I work with Lou Anarumo, the Colts defensive coordinator in Miami. He likes to play man-to-man. We drafted Xavier Howard there, ironically, someone they signed for a couple weeks earlier this season. Sauce Gardner is the prototypical corner they want to have because he's long, they can play man-to-man, and now you can, as Jeff alluded to, now you could pressure, something that they were really struggling to do. Right now, they're 29th in the NFL on third down defense. This should materially help that. So this is certainly an all-in move. This validates, hey, Daniel Jones is our future because we're giving up this draft capital. Yeah. And talking about being stunned, I was texting with A.J. Vanderchuck of Vayner Sports his agent, and he was shocked. So they did not see this coming
They did not see
whatsoever.
it at all.
Yeah.
We already saw Sauce, by the way, tweet about it. He said, thank you to the Jets. All right, we'll see what happens. Mike T, what's your name? Jay.
No, I want Mike T to do it.
Now that would be a trade.
Okay, take it away.
Let's go to Dallas, shall we? Well, much has been made about Dallas's bad defense. Last night's offense was notably lacking in their loss to the Cardinals. Jerry Jones